Hi everyone. Welcome to the Jesus Wasn't White podcast with myself, Callum Barwick, and my esteemed friend,
Adrian Scott.
Just to point out, this isn't a religious bashing podcast. It's not a bashing of anything podcast, is it, Adrian?
No, we're not here to bash anything. And if we are going to bash anything, we're going to do that in the private of confines of our own bathroom or something.
It's an opinionated podcast. This is all about your opinions. We'll be talking about politics, fake news, the media, pop culture, what's going on in the world, pretty much everything day-to-day of life. A couple of friends having a chat. Bit of yin and yang. Bit of black and white. And I think first of all, as you know, we've sort of gone in with the religious side, is religion. Adrian, you're quite religious, would you say?
I'm not
a religious man?
No, not at all. This is a misconception about me, that I'm a religious guy. I mean, when you say a religious guy, I think that boxes you, because it's like, what religion is one conforming to? And I've told people over and over and over again, it doesn't seem to commute for some reason, that I'm not religious, because for me to be religious means that I conform to one type or any one religion, and I don't. I cut out religion and I deal straight with God. So it's like, it's me. If I said to you, Cal, what religion is God, what would you say to me?
I don't put them down to a religion. I think for me, I mean, I'm not religious, but I like the romantic side of religion, you know, the fantasy side for me. And if I was to talk about gods, I would probably talk about like the Nordic gods, you know, Odin, Thor, people like that. You know, it's got romanticism about it. You know, I don't want to believe in an old man who impregnated a carpenter's wife. I want a god of war. I want Odin. You know, I want Thor, strike you down. The Greek gods.
These gods are, you know, they're like pagan gods, and that's all very well, but even if you did that, it didn't mean you're religious. Like you said, you like it because of the fables and that kind of stuff, which is fair enough if that's your thing. It's like if you watch a film, you like it for the sword fighting scene, you know, and it's more romanticized.
Of course, because you watch films on the genres that you enjoy, and like I said, with me, I'm not a religious person. I don't believe that there is there is someone out there, an almighty being. You know, I do believe in the energies and nature, and I think we've become very detached from the earth, as we spoke, you know, before we did a podcast previously. If anyone doesn't know, me and Adrian have worked together on
many years, and we've done a documentary about that. Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, the reason I would dislike, I'll be honest, I dislike religion is I think religion is the biggest scare tactic, longest going scare tactic in the world. It's a way to control the masses by fear. Obviously now we're more educated. You know, 10,000 years ago, I would have said that the general public is a lot more dumber than it is today. But you know,
I think they were smarter 10,000 years ago than they are today. I think we're dumbed down. We're more dumb today than we were 10,000 yeyears ago. I truly believe that.
I think we were smarter in certain aspects. I think in living we may have been smarter. We could look after ourselves better back then, because people knew how to cook, how to farm, how to hunt. You know, simple tasks like baking.
What's better now? The thing is about this show, you're going to see that we segue and come back. So forgive us. It's not like one narrative. Like we were speaking about narratives, there's multiple narratives, and then we'll try and bring each other back to religion. But just in terms of, you made a really interesting point, and I actually don't believe that we're smarter today than we were 10,000 years ago. I think we've become more stupid as a society, as human beings.
Technology has dumbed us down by 100%. Technology is dumbing it. It's dumbing us down because it's convenience. We've created a world of convenience, and every year we're creating more convenience for us with technology.
Keep going, Carol. Sorry, keep going.
It's all right. Sorry, guys. We've got family and pets and stuff around, but yeah, we've we are dumbing ourselves down with technology. Like now, we are sitting. I don't know, what are we? 20 miles apart, maybe, if the crow flies. Me and you.
Yeah, yeah.
Sat down at a computer, talking to each other. Now, 50 years ago, we would have had to have made a physical journey to interact with each other for this debate.
But think about the journey and how beautiful that journey would have been.
That's,
and by the
that's
time
what I mean.
we met up with each other, we'd have so much to talk about.
and that's what I mean when you say about, that side of us being dumbed down by technology. I agree. Obviously, I think we're more educated in scientific terms.
Are we though? Are we? Are we really? Because if you talk to those people 100 years ago, they were doing things that we still can't. 10,000 years ago, they were doing things that we still can't figure out now today. And are we really, or is that a point of view? I don't think more people were dying in those days than are dying now. And even if it was, the Earth survived, and what was meant to happen happened. So I don't know. I don't know if in any aspect, even in medicine, we learned medicine from Egypt. The medicine that we learned back then was probably more revolutionary because they had no blueprint. What did they get their blueprint from? At least we can look back and say that we got a blueprint from what happened before. But who taught them? How did they do it? They were probably more remarkable for doing what they were doing in the advances they were doing in medicine back then than we are now, because we've got a blueprint to follow.
Yeah, so you're talking like technical revolutions, aren't you? Really, is how. Oh yeah, I understand. It's to create something from nothing, which is basically what they did. I mean, when was the last time we did that? When did we create a technology or a medicine or something from absolutely nothing? I suppose maybe go back to Victorian times when we started, into the modern era.
Well, they didn't know much in Victorian times. We have to go back before that, innit? In terms of medicine.
Oh, medicine. Yeah, medicine. But again, it was a lot more natural, wasn't it? Our ancestors, and however long we want to go, they used what nature gave them as medicine. Our medicine now is created in a lab.
But still based on natural elements, because if you look at all the medicines and you look at the ingredients, the micro ingredients in there, they're always based off natural stuff that is natural.
But is this not human nature? If you took away all of our technology now and all of our research, we would find a way. Someone would find a way. That's what the truth about dumbing it down is.
Definitely.
If you ask someone to build a car, cars have been built for 100 years. They have a point of reference. But if you took away, if it just vanished, like that film where the lad with the Beatles vanished and he knew all their songs. Do you know what I mean? If you took all that away and you didn't know anything, would we then revert back to us and our human nature to create, design, and build something?
Definitely.
And that's funny. But if
we work it out, we find a way, because that's what humans do.
If you put a reference to it, prisoners, does it create things? Phone chargers. Do you know what I mean, though?
Oh, I've got a friend that he's renowned for, he knows how to mask a mobile phone. He knows how to do that.
Yeah, if you put the human race into a situation where they don't have an outside influence and everything's gone, we're quite ingenious. We will work something out.
I think so.
To move forward. And
we'd make a lot of mistakes, but in the end we'd get there. And I think just in terms of taking it back to religion, do you understand now that I'm not religious? And you don't have to have religion to believe in a higher power. Do you understand? Because God, if you believe in God, and as I do, never said you need to choose this religion to talk to me. I've never read that anywhere in my life. And I've been on the planet a few years. I've never ever seen that. I think religions, that's why there's so many different religions. But if the religions were all everything is cracked up to be, then which one is right? Because Are they all right, or are none of them right, or is one of them right? Because I think it's not about the religion, it's about your faith and about how you conduct yourself. And this is why I've often said, like, look, the first slaves, African slaves, were brought to the Americas under the banner of Christianity.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me Christianity's like you can obscure, you can misconstrue, you can use something, religion, for everything you want. There's people that have used religion for such beautiful, beautiful acts, and there's people that's really used religion for the most heinous acts known to mankind. Wasn't it the Incas and everyone was wiped out in the name of Catholicism and Christianity?
The Crusades.
Religion, the Crusades.
Henry VIII.
Everything. But do you blame the religion, or do you blame the people doing it? Because and not like I conform to any one religion, but if the person doing Christianity, and to be a Christian is to be a good person, to be a Muslim is to be a good person ultimately. If these people just do good deeds, it wouldn't matter what religion they are. They're just doing good deeds. So I understand when people, as soon as you talk God, the first people say is, oh, religion. No, you need to separate the two. God has nothing to do with religion. You know, Jesus wasn't Christian, was he?
No, he wasn't. But that's what I mean. Is it not the biggest fear tactic, scare tactic in the world ever used? Because religion is used by people of higher power or people more educated to control the masses by fear.
Yeah, but it's
controlled
easy
by fear.
But not just religion. Everything known to man has gone through that same process. You can be the most least religious person in the world and still be controlled by fear. You just have to watch enough TV and watch enough of the news, and you could be like, I'm atheist, I don't believe in any kind of religion, but I'm terrified because the TV is telling me to be terrified every time I turn on the news. So it's not exclusive to religion that people use what they want to use for fear. That's across the board on anything you do.
But is the media not on? You know, that's our modern way of controlling it now. You know, I would say people are becoming a lot less religious, especially in this country. America not so, which is crazy because they use religion for everything. You know, they use it in their laws.
But not for nothing, not for a lot of good stuff.
Sorry?
They didn't use religion in a positive way.
No, they don't. Of course they don't. They don't. And like I said, but is media now the new religion? Because look how much it's changed, even in the last 10 years. It's everywhere. It's in our face, you know. And people think the world's getting worse. I don't think the world's getting worse. I just think it's easier to see now. If you go back to 20 years ago when we didn't have social media, if some old dear got robbed on the high street, the only way you would ever find out about it is if a witness of the robbery had told someone who told someone who told someone who told someone. Now you can wake up in the morning and the first thing on your phone is a notification from your news app telling you, you know, Palestine's killed by Israeli missile. Do you know what I mean? We never would have known about this stuff previously. It's why I go back to, you know, people talk about wars and stuff like this. There was a reason the Second World War was censorship, should I say. They censored the news that came back to the homelands for that sole reason. Is because if we really knew what was happening, the atrocities of it, you know, would the country have been so supportive? Would we have been out there, you know, growing vegetables, going to Clark's village and, you know, the shoe factory and making ammunition there? Would that have happened if they knew exactly what was happening? Now we know because there's a camera crew in Iraq watching it, you know.
And even then, they might not be telling us the truth because cameras.
They only release what they want us to see.
They want to release what they want us to see. And the same camera crew, like you said, is used to manipulate us. And, you know, maybe, look, most people share news, not because they're really that concerned. It's because, like, for example, someone sent me the other day, it was my cousin. One of my cousins sent me a video of a guy. He was in a motorbike accident. I don't know you like motorbikes. He was in a terrible motorbike accident on the A406.
Yeah, I know it. Are you going to talk about the protest video? Or the video of the accident?
No, not the protest video. I haven't
Okay.
seen that yet
Okay,
because I was a
okay.
bit. By the time I saw the video of the accident, I felt sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are people sending me videos of someone's head in the road like a Lego action figure?
Yeah.
Awful. And
Yeah.
I just said, my cousin said to me, oh, I sent it to you because you got to know not to speed. I said, I'll be honest. I've been driving for 20 something years. I don't need to see someone's head in the road off his body to know that I shouldn't be speeding.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Obviously, I was sent that to, because I ride motorcycles. But yeah, you don't need to know. I know exactly what the outcome can be if I ride.
We're just voyeurs. We're sick voyeurs. We've turned into sick voyeurs because of media.
Talking about that, the family of the deceased man, obviously it's a horrible situation. No one wants that, and we don't know. Like you said, someone sent you a video and said speeding. We don't know if he was speeding.
No, I heard the story though. I heard because I know people that know him, and apparently he was being chased by the popo.
Right. Okay.
And he was an excellent rider, apparently excellent,
Well,
and left behind 3 kids.
Allegedly, we'll say allegedly.
Allegedly, absolutely.
I said, well, for me personally, I've seen it, I know about it, but I don't know enough. I don't know the guy. I know how dangerous it is out there. But the uproar now is that his family and friends closed off the one side of the A406 with all their bikes, as a like a memorial practice for him. But it's sad. But like you said, it's you would never have seen that 20 years ago.
I don't need to see
We'd
that
never have known.
or today. I just don't need to see it.
But I know you don't need. I know you don't need to see it. But that's the whole. You wouldn't have. All we would have known is there's some poor gentleman had lost his life, and that's how quick and easy news can spread now. And that's how quick and easy false news, fake news can spread. And this is going to take me on to a man we all love to hate, is Trump, and the creation of the fake news. Is he right to a certain degree? Yeah, he is. He is calling out fake news, but is he also creating that to navigate away from the nonsense that he spurts out? Is he using it to divert us from trying to realise that the man's pretty much an idiot? Well,
he's an idiot, but he's not an idiot. I mean, you have to be careful who we kind of label idiots, because a lot of the people we label idiots are some of the smartest people on the planet.
We've said his name now. It's the CIA listening. It's fine. They're already tuned into Skype.
Listen, CIA. I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's a very smart man. And no one achieves what he's achieved without being smart. He says idiotic things.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But
that's different to be a complete buffoon.
But smart,
which he's a buffoon sometimes. But I don't think he's as. I mean, if he's an idiot, who's smart?
Not Bill Gates.
No. Bill Gates is smart. Yeah, he is smart, to be fair. But Bill Gates is too smart. And people that are too smart are very dangerous. You understand? Sometimes the idiots are the ones that you can control. The smart people are the ones that you need to watch sometimes. So, I don't know. Bill Gates is smart, but I don't know if he's smarter than me at everything.
Now going,
I can't. But
so going back to Trump though, like, do you think it's a positive or a negative to have him in that position in this current climate?
I don't think it's either or, because who would have done a better job or a worse job? I don't see how we can measure him based on the current climate. Look, we've got an idiot in Boris Johnson, but that's our Prime Minister. And I don't know if what can you do? What could they have done different so that we would have said these are martyrs in these times? Unless they're the little old man who's going around earning money and he's 100 years old, this amazing little man. Yeah. I'd like someone like him as a leader. Say
Captain Tom Moore, happy birthday today. 100 today.
Happy birthday. That's a leader. That's a good-hearted man. That's a man. It doesn't matter what religion he is.
The Queen promoted him to an honourable colonel today.
Well, good for him. May he live with that for the rest of his days. But this is a guy that transcends religion, and it doesn't matter what religion he is. He's doing something good.
Good, yeah.
And that's important. He could turn around and say he's a Christian or he's a Jew or he's an atheist, or doesn't matter. He's doing something from his heart. He's doing something that his spirit has told him to do, and he's doing something good.
And no one asked him to do it.
No one's asked him
and
to
he
do
certainly didn't go out there and
look for notoriety and be like, hey, look at me.
He's not doing it for the likes on social media.
No.
Yes, he's become a social media phenomenon because obviously the news got hold of it, and then again we go back to something. At least it's something good that's been in the media.
The memes are always going to. But in terms of is Trump the right person at this time? I don't think it matters. I don't think. What do you think? Obama would have done a better job? No. I mean, what can you do? I mean, this is beyond the power of mankind anyway. What we're experiencing at the moment in terms of coronavirus, whether it was built in a lab, like some people are speculating, or it was built, it is just a natural phenomenon that we've just got to deal with. It's bigger than us. So what could anyone have done? What could Trump have done different? So people would have said, yes, and I'm sure people are saying he's doing a good job, and some people are saying he's doing a bad job, but that's not his job, really. It's not his job.
Well, I mean, the problem is with like the political system, especially in the States, is they only had really two options.
That's right.
Clinton or Trump.
That Clinton lady or the Trump.
And I think
you got
to pick the best of both. The bad. Sorry, it's the best of the bad options, isn't it? And they're both pretty much as bad as each other.
I prefer Trump, and the reason I prefer Trump is because at least he tells you he's a bozo.
This is what I mean about the ruthlessness, the straight talking. Is that something that I personally think, in my lifetime, I've seen a lot of politicians, they bounce, they divert themselves away from the truth. They can't give an answer. They have to take you down the road, take you down the garden path to explain something.
He does that as well. He does do
it, but he also, there is he does have a ruthless side to him. And I think if you're talking about comparing him to us, you're probably the last leader we had like that would have been Margaret Thatcher, who had that ruthless side.
People love her. I mean, a lot of people hate her, but people love her as well.
Because shit has to get done. And it doesn't matter what you do, you're always going to upset someone. It doesn't matter how you do it or what you do, you're always going to upset someone. There's probably still people now upset that the Nazis lost the Second World War. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, though? They are all. You're always going to upset someone. I'm sure we could find plenty of people, Adrian. I think between me and you. Do you know? I'll see, go off topic. No one else knows about this, but today is also 5 years since Rosie Knight called me out on Twitter.
Now Rosie Knight is a very special human being and the Rosie Knights of this world are the army of Rosies, not so Rosies. But yeah, this is great because the background to this is that Cal's a man of many talents, and he done a poem, and the poem was it was a really good poem called "We Are Men." And it was about stepping into the other person's shoes. And so Cal spoke as an Asian man, a white guy speaking as an Asian man, our black character became Asian, and our Asian character became black. I can't remember if that was but yeah, we mixed it up, and it was a really cool, positive poem. But you got Rosie's of this world, and I imagine Rosie's one of these white liberal girls that is a do-gooder. And this is the thing about do-gooders and liberals. They do more harm than good, in my humble opinion. And I'm sure her heart was in the right place, somewhere in the ether. But because her heart was, so she thought her heart was in the right place. But she was so misguided, it was unreal. And then she accused me. You can't see what I look like, but I'm a black guy, black male. And she accused me of...
Stormzy.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, nothing like Stormzy.
You've got the Stormzy beard now, though. You've got the chin strap beard.
Everybody has. This is like in, man. You know what I mean? I wouldn't claim that even Stormzy invented it.
At least you got the goatee, though. I can't stand the people that have it without the tash, man. Then I just think you look like you're wearing a helmet. It's like a chin strap. You got to have the goatee.
I'm trying to look older because I kept getting mistaken for being much younger than I am, and it was getting on my nerves. So I decided to do this, and I think it's serving me well. But Rosie accused me of and Alexi of being racist to black people by the creation and producing this piece that had nothing to do. It wasn't even about black people. It was about race in general.
yeah. It was about race, and it was about the stereotypes that surround race and how stereotypes are exactly that, stereotypes. But 9 times out of 10, stereotypes are true. There's a reason we have stereotypes. It's because
like that, and it's like when they say white people can't dance, which is not true, because it's not true in terms of I've got a lot of white friends and they can bloody dance, man, and I've got black friends that can't dance to save their life. It's not true, but as a whole, in terms of as a kind of stereotype, then you can say it's true.
But just to point out was, who did we have on the crew that day?
It was the most multicultural crew ever. We had
white British
girl, white British. We had Polish. We had a Muslim girl. We had a Greek guy, mixed race brother, 2 black brothers,
Hindu.
It was the most multicultural crew ever, and we always pride ourselves on that, and that's who we are. We never even thought about that. But like I said, these are the Rosies of the world, and there's a lot of, to be fair, she was an indication of what was going to happen in terms of free speech and being offended, the offended culture. I'm offended by your hat, Cal. I'm offended. It's infringing on I feel threatened by your hat. I feel threatened.
You're allowed to.
Yeah,
you're allowed to be offended. I am allowed to offend you. It is my right to be able to offend you. But as soon as I offend you, I open up the option of myself being offended. That's personally, I think.
Absolutely.
You can be as nice as you want, but you never know what someone's going through. You might meet someone on a bad day. They might not mean to offend you. They might say something horrible. That, as we said before, that is life.
Might be sensitive that day. It might not even have been offended on Tuesday, but when they said it on Wednesday, you was offended. If they said it on Thursday, it wouldn't have offended you. Offense isn't something, and what is offensive? It's not a static thing. It moves. What offends you today doesn't offend you tomorrow. So this whole offense culture and being offended, and Rosie was offended by your. She could have been offended. That's absolutely fine, but to go on a rant like that and to try and shut it down and create fake news.
Yeah, well, but also, do you remember she told me my opinion wasn't valid because I was a white man?
Well, but this is why I said she was
a white woman.
She was a white woman. And this was a prelude to what was happening, because this was 4 or 5 years ago. And now everyone is saying that you haven't got an opinion because you're a white man, which is I find fascinating. And I think if you're trying to help, I don't know what they're trying to do, these people that are doing it. And I think a lot of the people doing it are white liberals, and then it's been picked up by black liberals. Yeah. And now everybody's offended. But if you go to the key, to the seed of what that is, it's like, what are you trying to do? What's your objective by saying that you can't have a voice because you're a white male?
But this is the thing. But what they do is they have these opinions, and they're trying to talk for other people that they don't understand, they don't know, they don't meet. They're trying to say that what you do this, you've offended him, and I'm like, have you ever sat down with him? Have you sat that man down and spoke to him? Like, go back to that time we did the casting for
Saints and Sinners
in the Tabernacle. You know, we sat down in the evening, and there was me, white British born. There was you, black British born, and then we had people who were come from the older generations who were born in like the Caribbean and emigrated here. Then we had the Irish who again weren't welcome, and we were all on the same page because everyone was like, I'll be offended at what I want to be offended at. I won't allow you to tell me what I'll be offended at.
That's right.
They grew up in a lot harder times than we did.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate about it so much is is I will never tell anyone what they're doing is offensive to you, because I can't tell it's not my place in this earth to control you, to control your emotions. You know, you could, like you said, 1 minute you could, you know, we know each other, we've known each other for a while, we all have friends from different backgrounds and cultures, and racism can be used in a banterish kind of way between friends, you know.
Me and my black African friends, friends of the African diaspora, we do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And who am I to tell you should be offended at it?
It's ridiculous. But you know, that's not a popular opinion. And what it is with mainstream media and fake news and all of that is that the mainstream media is so liberal that they're the new far left to me. And I think if you go left enough, you end up back on the right. And that's what's happening. And so there's this big narrative that, you know, there's the offense culture. And, you know, what's happening on university campuses, that if you offend someone, you're not allowed on, or you're cancelled. There's a cancel culture and all these cultures that ultimately I don't think help the cause. So, for example, if your thing is to help racism improve, that's not the way to do it, is it?
No, but that's what I mean. But that's why at some point in this world, we have to have the people who will stand up and say the controversial stuff. The people that will stand up and say, fuck you, this is what I think.
Like the Ben Shapiro.
You need to sit down and shut up. Ben Shapiro.
Jordan Peterson.
What's the other one? Charlie something, the other American lad. But even going to like comedians, you know, like Frankie Boyle. He's so offensive. He's so offensive. But if you actually follow the man, and if you actually look in between the lines and you look at his tweets, he doesn't lie. He's not lying. How can you know? You know me. We have banter, and I can say things that can be deemed as offensive, but I don't make it up. No. I don't lie. I'm not. You know, if I was point blankly offending you by making something up about you, by lying about you, do you know what I mean? Then that's wrong. But people that tell the truth and it's deemed offensive, that's an issue.
But this is why the truth isn't important here. It's the offence. And not for me, I'm saying this is how they feel. So truth is irrelevant. You could hit these guys with truth all day long and they'll be like, but you're offending me.
Yeah, because why is that? Because they don't have an argument? Or because we've
No, just because they're so important and they're so mollycoddled. It's the right word you use, Cal. They're so mollycoddled and they're so important, and their rights and they feel threatened, and it's hate speech and it's this. And I think what they've done, they've taken away the true meaning of what hate speech is. Because if everything's hate speech, it means nothing's hate speech.
That's where you say, I think you're going about like people that the far left then become the far right.
Well, they have, because they've got all the traits of the far right now.
Yeah, well,
you're not allowed to say anything. You'll get cancelled. You'll get ruined. You'll get, you know, YouTube will take you off air, and you're being censored because you're speaking what you believe to be your point of view, and it's just an opinion. Listen, I always believe that I don't think that Tommy Robinson should have been cancelled,
yeah,
and banned from YouTube. I don't agree with him on anything. Okay. But that doesn't mean, because I don't agree with him, that he shouldn't be heard. I think let the people decide. If we start censoring the Tommy Robinsons of this world, which we have done, tomorrow they'll be censoring me and you.
It just comes down to equality. How can you preach equality but censor one person and not the other?
Well, it's nonsense, isn't it?
It is simple. And I don't ever think anything Tommy Robinson said should be determined as hate speech. He's never physically gone out there and said, you have to attack this person, you have to hate this kind of person. He might do it in a very educated way, a very tactful way, but it's not hate speech. I see a lot more stuff worse on social media.
From trolls.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, Tommy Robinson to me is a bit of an idiot, because as much as there's something about him that isn't completely damning, and that's me as a black man saying that, I wouldn't totally condemn him, but he says stuff, he argues a lot like a baby. So, for example, he's not as nuanced as, say, Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
and he's definitely got nothing on Jordan Peterson. Yeah, compared to him, he's like, if you're the British, not that I'm comparing them because you can't compare them. They all come from different spectrums. But you, as a British person, you make British people look stupid, Mr. Robinson.
It's very whiny.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to
whines a lot.
articulate himself, and he doesn't. And maybe that's not his fault. He's not, you know, he could say, I'm working class. It's not about what I'm saying. It's about the message. But your message gets lost in his because he doesn't know how to speak properly, and then he gets babyish and whiny. You know, Akala took him to the cleaners because Akala's educated and knows how to speak.
That's the thing.
And knows how to breathe when you're speaking, whereas Tommy Robinson hasn't got a clue. But that doesn't mean we should cancel him.
No, of course it's not. But that's what I mean. But you know, you can't give Akala a platform and not Tommy Robinson a platform. And Akala is a very, very intelligent man, very intelligent. And I think, you know, not a lot of people know this, but if you've been following Akala's career for as long as I have, since he was 16, you'll know how intelligent he was. You'll know how, you know, what he was doing in his teens, education-wise, and starting up, running businesses, and, you know, having a restaurant abroad, and having a music career, and getting into, say, you know, debates and politics and stuff like that. You know, he's stood up at the Oxford Forum and given speeches and stuff. He is a very intelligent man.
Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, Tommy Robinson did.
I didn't watch it, but
I don't think he would.
I
don't think he'd be allowed back there now. But
that's a shame.
Well, it said this is the censorship, and is it going to get to a point where are we going to collapse? Is it going to? How can these people lead us? These are the next generation of people.
Well, they're creating the next generation so that the next generation are so whiny and so...
They can't communicate, Adrian. They don't know how to talk to people.
Well, because of text talk, and because their thing is to scream and to be offended. And to be offended, you can't be offended quietly. To be offended means you have to scream. You're wrong. You're not fair. You're infringing on my rights. You're scaring me. It's like, what's his name that does Louder with Crowder? Do you watch Louder with Crowder?
No, I don't. No.
You should watch Louder with Crowder. It's really good. I don't agree with half of... This is the thing. Louder with Crowder, he goes to university campuses. He's got his own show. Steve Crowder, American, got his own show. You should have heard of him. He's your kind of guy. And he goes around university campuses and he'll say things like, rape culture is a myth, changing my mind. And he's been thrown off a lot of university campuses. He's been embraced. There's people that... He sits down, he says debate. He'll say, like, transgender is not real. There's only two sexes, change my mind. And he does this thing. And I don't agree with everything he says. I agree with half of what he says and half of what he doesn't say. And this is the thing. It's like with Ben Shapiro. I agree with a lot of what Ben Shapiro says. And a lot of stuff I don't agree with.
Yeah, I'm very much...
That's just human. You don't have to agree with...
Oh, you cut out there.
My phone rang, but I cut it off. That's
He's back. He's back. Sorry, guys. Obviously, with COVID-19 in the lockdown, we are doing this from different locations across the powers of the internet.
Yeah, the same thing we're talking about. Technology.
Yeah, the internet. Is it great, or was it created by the devil? Who knows? I mean,
everything was created by the devil. The only thing that wasn't created by the devil is what's on the land. You know, mangoes weren't created by the devil.
Do you believe in the devil?
Well, to me, if you believe in God, you've got to believe in the devil, innit? If you don't believe in God, then you shouldn't believe in the devil. Because there's no yin and yang. This is yin and yang. There's no one without the other. And I'll tell you what, I don't think it matters whether I believe in... You see, Cal, I don't think it matters to anyone else whether you and I believe in God or the devil, or either or. What we have to know is that the people that control everything we do, they believe. Yeah. They believe. And even if they don't, they've studied the text. Do you think the powers that be haven't studied the Bible back and forth? They've read it beginning to end to beginning, middle to end, middle to beginning. These guys know scripture because you can tell they know scripture because of what they're doing.
Yeah, but they've been raised in that. They've been in a curriculum that's created by religion. They've gone to universities that are created by religion. They're in a system which is controlled by religion.
Yeah. And you know what? Enough people believe in the devil. So even if the devil isn't real, even if the devil isn't real, if enough people believe in anything, it becomes real. So for example, it could be that as many people haven't died from COVID-19 as they're claiming, or because they're saying everyone that's dying at the moment is going to just be labelled that they died from COVID-19 because of the way they're doing things. If enough people believe it, is it real or isn't it?
It's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real because
but we know it's real. It's happening in front of our eyes.
No, we know that, but we don't know. We can't see the people dropping dead. I don't know if you.
We can't, but
people die.
But like anything, it's talk to your friends, talk to your family. We all know loads of people that work in the NHS. You know, I know someone who's an embalmer, and she's busier. You know, my friends. Pardon?
Are they dying from COVID-19?
Well, some are confirmed, some aren't.
Some are, yeah, I agree, but not everybody.
No, of course they're not. Here's a case for you. Sorry, just interrupt quickly. That I was told by a friend of mine a few weeks, probably about 3 weeks ago now. Is a poor lady. And we're not talking old. She was in her 40s, I think 50s. She thought she had mild symptoms of coronavirus, so she self-isolated, and she had fucking malaria and died at home.
There you go.
Because of everyone's now telling us it's corona, you got to stay.
So what's happened to all the other ailments that we had before corona came onto planet Earth? And that's the point. And the thing is if enough people believe in anything, it becomes real, whether it's real or not. And that's what it is. We have the power to make things real or to make things unreal. So in terms of the devil, a lot of people believe in the devil. A lot. So the devil must be real because they're believing in nothing, or they're believing enough so that they've created it. I don't know. But to me, I believe in God, so I know that the devil exists. But depends on the name. We got caught up in the name, the devil. But it could be that the devil's Beelzebub or Samuel or another name.
So the Satanic Temple. Okay, you know that I've looked into a lot of this about the Satanic Temple.
Yeah, you had some real dodgy signs going on. I was like,
the Satanic Temple is a non. Oh God, I can't think of the word now. They're a religious group, but they don't believe in a higher power. They don't believe in the devil, but they use Satan's name because he is the ultimate rebel, which he is. He's the fallen angel. You know, sure. He is the rebellious one. They don't actually
What do they believe in? What do they believe in?
They don't believe in God. They don't believe in the devil. They just take the devil and the satanic name because of their rebellious ways. They believe in they have the 7 tenets. Have you heard the 7 tenets?
I think so, yeah.
I couldn't recite them to you, but I'd have to look it up. But yeah, they believe in, like I said, being good to other people. But if you are bad to other people, that's your right to be bad. But then you open yourself up for someone to be bad back to you. You know.
But what's the point of them? Why do they need to create a satanic temple to be good? Can't you just be good?
Because it's all come from the fact of how religion controls America. The Americans say that religion and politics, politics can't go hand in hand with religion, yet the Americans use religious quotes on their money, on their bills,
Yeah, but they do that. But what God are they entrusting in? I think it's the same satanic God that your mates at the Satanic Temple are. They're, in their eyes, they're doing good, and they don't really believe. Because listen, America, if we're taking religion back to its base, if religion is to be good, then I don't think America can be in that bracket.
Oh no,
because they're hypocrites. So even though America's very religious, it doesn't practice any of what it preaches. When they're saying God we trust, or before they go to war, they're saying God we trust, or God save the Queen. That to me isn't religious. They're just words. You're bunderblusting. They're just words. You don't mean it. You can say anything. It doesn't mean you mean it. When you say God save the Queen, but this is the most godless country, one of the most godless countries. What do we really mean by God save the Queen? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
They should update. They should update.
NHS saves the Queen.
Exactly. Someone else. You know what I mean? So to me, the Church of Satan is exactly what it says on the tin. They're the Church of Satan, because you wouldn't use the signs if I don't believe in skinning cats, but I call myself the Church of Skinning Cats, and within that we skin cats. Yeah. Guess what?
Well, I obviously was intrigued by it and did my own research and looked into it. And the reason I came away from it is, one, I am not religious. I don't need a religious circle. I don't need to go to a group or a gathering of people to feel comfortable, to feel that I belong. I don't need that. That's not for me at the end of the day. I believe in a lot of things they believe, and the 7 tenets are a good way to live your life. But I actually came away from it because on social media, a lot of them just became the bullies they were calling out.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they were mocking religious people. They were mocking videos and quotes from Christians and Catholics and Jews and Muslims and all of this. It was all being mocked. And I sat there and, like I say, you are the biggest bunch of fucking hypocrites going.
Well, they all are. I mean, it's not.
They want to be accepted. They have court cases in America because they want to be accepted by the American government and the Christianity and the Catholics. They want to be accepted, but they're on Facebook. And this is the British. I was looking at the UK groups, but they're on Facebook, mocking these people on a day-to-day basis. And I just looked at it and I just thought, and all I could see were insecure little people.
That's
exactly how
I can imagine that the Church of, it's just like if anyone's being recruited by Muslim extremists. And this is why all religions have those same facets. Doesn't matter what religion you are. Every religion has the same facets. That's why I always say it can't be about the religion. This is why I wouldn't label myself as a religious person. I'm a godly person, but I'm not a religious person.
But
and
you can see how people get confused with that.
Not really. I just think that if you're confused, you just don't know. You're not educated. You equate believing in God to a religion, but it's quite simple. If you take away that you can believe in God without being religious, then you're completely good. It's how we've been taught. I mean, who told you? Who taught you that? Who taught you that to believe in God you have to be religious? Where does that even come from?
It starts in school, doesn't it? I would have thought
exactly. So. And school's the biggest indoctrinator of bullshit. You know, school should have taught us, how to farm, how to plant seeds, how to do our banking, taught us about mortgage rates. The stuff that they are taught in their private schools is not what we were taught in our public schools and state schools. So school is bullshit in terms of that.
Because we're taught what we need to know to pass their exams.
And ultimately it's to prop up their economy and to keep their economy the way they need it to. Not to be leaders. You're not taught at school to be an entrepreneur.
Because they don't want people telling them they're doing their job wrong.
So if school are the perpetrators, then I find them guilty, because there's no reason why you have to be religious to believe in God. You know, you can believe in God and not be like me. I don't follow a religion, but I believe in God because God is not one religion.
So what God do you have a God, or do you just believe in?
I believe in the highest, whoever that is. I don't call him Buddha. I don't call him Allah. I don't have to call him a name. It's just the highest, whatever that is, supreme being. And you'll find probably that all roads lead to one place. Doesn't matter where you're coming from. All these roads lead to one place, if that's your belief. And that's my belief. So to me, it's just, I find it strange. And don't get me wrong, everybody does it. It's not just you, everybody does it. As soon as I say I believe in God, they said you're religious. I'm not religious. What does religious even mean? What's the root word of religion? I'm going to look it up while you're here. The root word of religion. And I bet you it's nothing to do with God.
So, but do you believe in evolution and scientific facts, or do you believe that God created us all?
In terms of like we started off as monkeys.
Well, no, before that, like parasites.
Well, we started off as a parasite. Do you believe that we started off as a parasite?
No, you know what I believe.
No, I just asked.
Well, you know what I believe, but No, but life starts as bacteria, doesn't it? And it grows.
But life is so complicated and so perfect that I don't think it was just left to do its own thing and out popped coward Adrian in a millennia later. You know what I mean? I don't think it works like that. Personally, I don't believe we started off as just parasites. I believe that we were made in the image, and I do believe that because we're too perfect. There's nothing's an accident. To me, when you say that, oh, the Big Bang and all of that, you're implying that it was just an accident and that might not have happened.
Mm.
And then it was so perfect at this accident that it created the oceans the way it needed to, the land. It's just, to me, it's completely ridiculous. But there's people that swear by it, and that's their opinion.
That's just how nature works. Everything has to click together.
Well,
everything fits together. Like if we take away the natural predators, then we then, like I said, then we then have to cull the numbers of the animals that they would have fed on.
So that's an accident. That's just coincidence.
It could be.
Complete coincidence. Everything is coincidence.
Yeah, but it could be because you never know. Do you believe in alien life?
Yeah, but alien. See, it's the word alien. Yeah, to me, yeah, I believe there's alien life, but maybe the word alien isn't. It's just the word. We got to get off the language and we call it aliens, so we see little green men or ETs, but aliens are just people that are just not off this earth. So if you're going to talk about aliens, maybe we're just talking about angels, man.
Where did they come from, though?
From heaven, man. God made them.
Okay.
I mean, who made the aliens? I don't know. To me, God created them.
That's my point. If Paul the alien landed in front of your house today and was like, Adrian, I'm from a different planet, would your views change?
No, because I've seen stuff. I've travelled.
Right.
I've travelled into different dimensions, and I've seen stuff with my own eyes. Or maybe I was crazy at the time. We can put that forward. But I've seen stuff with my own eyes.
Was there a shaman?
Of course.
At the time.
And absolutely there was. And and I've seen some stuff in my time, yeah. And I know that there's life on other. I know there is because I've seen it. That doesn't change my mind because we all come from one. To me, that's just my personal opinion,
I mean, I don't really know what to say to that, to be totally honest. I'm a bit lost for words. I know what you're talking about because obviously I said in the past we spoke about stuff like this.
Yeah.
But for me, I do like to think. Do I believe it was all an accident? Yeah, maybe, because I think that would be quite cool that we've come this far from nothing.
No accidents.
So as a storyteller, you're a storyteller. It's a great story, isn't it? From nothing.
Yeah, but no accident's that perfect. No accident will give us that gravity or give us everything we need. I mean, that's not an accident. That's a design.
Is that not evolution though? Because we weren't perfect, and we evolved. We evolved.
We was perfect. Why? In fact, we've devolved. We haven't evolved. We've devolved. I don't think we've got better. I think that if 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 years ago, man was living for 800 years, and now we live for 80 years. How's that evolving? Our time is short.
800 years.
Noah lived for 800 years.
Noah.
He lived for 800 years. These people, back in biblical times, people lived much longer than they live now. And they could use different parts of their brain that we can't use now.
I fully believe there's a part of our bodies and our brains that we don't utilize anymore. There's a reason these stories exist. They don't come from nothing. Every story ever written has a starting point. There's a base point. There's a reference. And I very much believe that there is, psychic powers, magic, whatever you want to call it. There is, going back hundreds of times. I believe like Merlin, the story. Do you know what I mean? There is something. There's a base to that story, And I do believe that we don't use our minds, our brains, because we don't have to, because we've created a life that we don't need to.
So how's that evolving then?
So then we go back to, are we de-evolving because of technology?
Of course we are. Soon, yeah. Soon they're saying that you won't have to make a call because you'll just be able to think the call.
Yeah, of course, no, guaranteed. I reckon in our lifetime we will see embedded bank cards. You'll probably have a bank card in your hand.
And it speaks about that in the Bible.
Possible, communications, phones. I don't know. Phones is a tough one because I don't think anyone would willingly want to have a receiver put into their head.
They will. They will. They will. You'll be surprised what humans are willing to do, and not. So I won't be surprised by anything humans are willing to do. And I just think that in terms of we're evolving as humans, but we're devolving because we're not going to become human no more. And if that's what you mean is evolving, that is definitely nothing to do with God. That's to do with what you say, evolution and scientists.
Now,
definitely, because it's not God saying, "Here, put that in your forehead."
the current situation we face with Corona and lockdown, do you think this is going to be a positive for us in that aspect? Because we are, people are starting to bake again. People are starting to exercise more. I've never known so many people to exercise.
Yeah, but
suddenly now we're not allowed. Suddenly now we're not allowed out. Everyone I know has become a runner, or everyone's got a bike. Everyone's got a bicycle.
Me too. That's good on one aspect, Cal, but one aspect is not good, because just because you exercise your body, it doesn't mean you're exercising your mind. And sometimes one hand goes hand in hand. Like if you do good exercise, your mind works good. But we've got a lot of stupid people exercising, and they're doing their best workouts, and they're coming back after their workouts and being just as stupid. Yeah. They're putting the wrong foods into their body. You can exercise till kingdom come. You come back and you're putting the wrong stupid foods into your body and stuff that is dumbing you down, and using fluoride in your toothpaste and all of this stuff that we all do. So what are you really exercising? You're exercising your body, but are you exercising your mind? I'm exercising my mind every day.
But are people not learning that now? Because like I said, people are cooking more at home. They're baking. They seem to be controlling what's going on. I don't know, because I don't live their lives, but I can see it. I can see it. I mean, it's a lot better eating your own baked bread than the stuff Mr. Kingsmill puts
I
into
hear
his
you,
stuff.
but once McDonald's opens again, I'm telling you, the queues are going to be around the block.
Well,
the same people baking and cooking are going to be running out to McDonald's.
But this is my question is I was kind of hoping that this kind of might be a massive reset button for us.
I hope so, but okay. I don't think so.
But that's the question I want answered. I want your opinion is.
Yeah.
It ain't going to change people, is it?
Not really. It's going to change a few people. But like Cal, but like clapping for the nurses, I've stopped doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. I don't know if you do it 8 o'clock every Thursday. I don't know if you're out with your hat clapping for the nurses. Maybe you are, but I'm not. And not because I don't respect the nurses. Let's get it straight. I think they're amazing, absolutely amazing. My mum works in the care system, and she's amazing. And they clap for carers, and I think that was great as well. And I did clap the first time. Don't get me wrong, I did clap the first time. But every Thursday, this clapping every Thursday at 8 o'clock, I think it's bullshit, because once again we're being told clap them now, clap them when we say it. Nurses should be appreciated 365 days of the year. And that's why I put on my Facebook that we should be clapping midwives, people that deliver the idiots into the world, the great, the brave, the not so brave, everything on the trajectory of human beings. They deliver into the world. They do it 365 days a year, every day without a day off, and that's going to happen for the rest of eternity. Because babies are always being born until they do the Matrix style baby born and they're using pods, and then we won't need them anymore. They should be applauded. But I'm not into it, and I think that once this is over and this has been gone for like 6 months or so, no one's gonna care. They're not gonna give two shits about the nurses, man. They won't be clapping them. They'll be complaining. I had to wait 6 hours in A&E, bloody NHS. It'll be back to that normal narrative again, and it's hypocritical. And we're only doing it because we're told to do it, not because we feel that should be the case. And then who do we not clap? Well, maybe we should clap the workers in Sainsbury's. Well, I want to clap the security guard. There's a black security guard, yeah, day in, day out. If I look out my window now, he'll be there. And he's there making sure everyone's keeping their 2 meter distance. Why shouldn't he be clapped?
Yeah, well, he should. They said about this for key workers and that. But you are right. Is why do we appreciate them now, and when we should have appreciated them anyway? I know people do appreciate them, but like you said, it's how much of that appreciation is done on social media because people want to look good. They want people to think. Yeah, you know, the people that are out there doing it silently, that are helping, you know, the key workers. I don't like that word either, because again, the key workers has just been taken over by people that just want to continue to make money. There's a lot of people out there who tell me they're key workers, and I'm like, yeah, you ain't a key worker.
Yeah. Parking attendants are key workers. Yeah, keep putting tickets on your car.
Exactly. And we could all do it. Do you know what I mean? I could do it. I could turn around and, you know, like I said, I'm a gas engineer. If someone has a gas leak, that's right for me to go out to say I'm a key worker. You know, but I don't want to. Ain't no people clapping me. I don't want to be clapped. I mean, I want life to go back to normal, but I want this to be. This has to be a massive learning curve for everyone, not just people, but businesses. You know, the government. We never. In my wildest dreams, I never would have thought I'd have experienced something like this. So we all learned about the plague and the Spanish flu or whatever. You know, and we've had a few scares. Don't get me wrong. In my lifetime, we had bird flu, and then we had Ebola, which swine flu. Yeah, Ebola came and went like that, didn't it? Like a thunderstorm. Now, suddenly we're all dying of Ebola, and then it was vanished. It was gone.
Yeah. And
then we found out that, you know, whoever were in charge at the time had probably put in a load of laws that we still don't know about. But this is, you know, I mean, I fear for it, but I don't fear for myself. I fear for other people. I fear for my parents. You know, my dad's in his 70s and is very unwell. You know, my mum's in her 60s and she has asthma.
Yeah.
That's what I fear for. I fear for the other people, and I do look at it and just think, you know, why can't everyone just for a couple of weeks just stop doing what they're doing, just chill out? We'll get through it, because we do get through this stuff. You might have a little bit less money at the end of it, you might have to sell something to survive, but we'll get there. And you can't. I see all these things over there about that it's being used by the government to control people. And I'm like, so what? The government made this to control us, but they also want to control Italy, Spain, China, America. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
you know what? I don't know, because, you know, I'm not saying that's true or not, because I don't know.
There is a lot better and simpler ways they could have controlled us, or they could have.
Well, I think they've tried everything.
They could have. Watch Bill Burr. He says the great thing, Bill Burr. He says if he ever wanted to cull the people and lower the numbers of civilization, he'd take out cruise ships. Cruise ships in the middle of the ocean. You drop a cruise ship, all the evidence is gone, goes to the bottom of the sea. And who kind of people go on cruises? You know what I mean? You have to watch it. You have to watch it.
But even then, you wouldn't get as many. And the thing is that these governments, it's a global government, isn't it? They all talk to each other. And if you're dealing with something like a respiratory, something that is viral, then it's in the air, isn't it? So I'm not sure. Listen, I'm not saying that the government done this. I'm not. I don't know. But if I found out that they did, trust me, I wouldn't fall off my seat in surprise. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. How could they do that? No, that's not me. I'd be like, well...
There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about many things that have happened in this world.
And there should be.
There's also a lot of mistakes that have been made by officials because of their arrogance, their stupidness. I don't see this. This isn't. For me, I don't think. I think that there's other ways if they really wanted to do it, but I don't think it is really. What is it? How are they controlling us? Because, like I said, at the end of it, if it's all going to go back to how it was, then they haven't won. Then we've won.
They destroyed the economy so that they can reset it and introduce cashless society and introduce everyone to have a vaccine that the whole world must have, because they will then inject us with whatever bullshit they want to inject us with. Then in that, it's just like September the 11th. September the 11th was terrible for the people that died, but great for America in terms of what they were able to do in the name of September the 11th.
Because Bush used it for his political advantage.
It wasn't, yeah, but it wasn't Bush. But there was higher powers than Bush. Bush was a puppet. I don't think it was old Bush.
The invasion of Iraq was obviously came of September the 11th.
There was not one Iraqi flew a plane.
This is the whole point. Bin Laden wasn't in Iraq. He was in Afghanistan the whole time. So that's the misconception now.
So they say. I mean, they said, that this is just so weird what people don't talk about. But when September the 11th happened, only one plane was allowed to fly out of America. You know this story, don't you?
Yeah, but I know a lot about September 11th, but a lot of it is down to mistakes.
Yeah, but it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake to fly the Bin Ladens out of America. That's not a mistake. Who gives that authorization that says, hey, listen, our Twin Towers have just fallen and we are afraid for the poor Bin Ladens, the poor dearies Bin Ladens we're afraid for. Let's fly them out. Even though we've shut down airspace, we're going to give special provision so that the Bin Ladens can fly out of America. But it's just weird.
But yeah, it is weird, but it's hearsay. You're never going to know. That's the
problem. No, that's a fact. No one denies it. It's not denied.
We'll never ever find out the truth about anything. All this stuff. But also, it's why some of it's a joke because, But
the joke's on us.
Yeah, well, of course it is in the grand scheme of things. It is on us. But how do we get through Corona? What's going to come out of it at the end? I know we have that stiff upper lip mentality here, where it's carry on,
good sir.
Is it the right way? Is it the right way to be?
I think the British just need to keep being British. Listen, I've seen a lot of people on Facebook screaming, stay at home, and it gets on my nerves. It really does, because you're kind of talking to me and you're talking to the ear, because unless the people out in the parks are all your Facebook friends, no one can bloody see it.
Yeah, but that's people only complain on Facebook for attention.
It is attention.
Attention. So I had a thing the other day with someone who put on one of the local groups about people out. Oh, I've just seen kids out smoking weed behind the rugby club, and I'm like, what are we gonna do about it? I was like, thanks, I'll go down there have a zoot. Do you know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna do about it? ring the police if you're worried about it. Don't walk home. Don't walk home. Log on to Facebook, write out a status, because it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's like in anything in life, if you're dissatisfied with something, make a change.
Do something about it.
Don't look for other people to make the change.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. If you don't earn enough money, get a better education, educate yourself, look for better jobs, improve yourself. Do you know what I mean? If you don't like your body weight, then lose weight, get fitter. Don't look for other, and that's what I hate about these Facebook things.
Well, I blocked 5 people on Facebook in the last month, and I did it because, listen, I don't mind a debate. I don't want people to agree with me because I don't agree with you all the time. And why should we always agree? I think it's beautiful that we have different points of views. It's good that we can listen to each other and we can disagree, and it's absolutely fine. I disagree with people that I love dearly. Doesn't matter. Why? We're not the same. We're not Siamese twins. But when people come on your page and they get so personal and they're so invested in their anger and their view, and I think a lot of these people haven't got a voice. And when I speak on Facebook, I get a lot of comments and people interact, and I think you're kind of just using me to kind of be heard, and I won't have it. And taking it back to religion, because this is how the show started. And I've got to run and pick up the children soon, my 2 oldest sons, yeah? But this is how you started the show. You started talking about religion. And this is a good real-life story, where a guy came, I won't give his name, but he always, every time I mention God on my Facebook, he came on with such an angry demeanor, and he wrote words that were really angry and vicious, and he'd done it a few times, and I thought, well, that's okay, you know, he's allowed to do that. But when he's doing it 3, 4, 5 times, he doesn't say anything else. It's just, he's like the religious police. And I'm using the word religious in so you understand it and everyone understands it, not that I equated it to religion. And every time he came on, it was just anger and, oh, God, no, and he was like just awful. And in the end, I blocked him. I didn't like him in real life anyway, so I don't know why he was my Facebook friend, but that happens on Facebook. And then I spoke to a friend messaged me, and I said to my friend, he said, yeah, he's a bit like that, isn't he? And I said, what's up with him? I said, he's got a real issue. Has he got daddy issues or something? And he said, what it is, his dad was a pastor. And I said, I knew it. I said, he's not angry at me. He's angry at his dad.
Yeah.
And every time I write that, it reminds me of all the feelings from his dad, that whatever him and his dad went through, whatever teachings his dad was giving him. And he decided to use my platform, but I will not allow my platform to be used like that, Cal. It's my page. And just like Facebook can shadow ban you or block you, I can do it with my own powers, limited powers, mind you, but I know how to use it so that I can block you and I don't need to interact with you. You're not going to use me to feel better about yourself or to have a voice. Have your own voice.
Exactly, and go back to the point of he's just using you to get his point across. But if he feels that strongly about it, he can
jog on.
Yeah, but he can also preach it on his own page to his own fans. Of
course, your own page with your own.
You don't need to hijack other people's stuff. But this is everything in life now. You know, if you go across, like I said, the far left or Antifa or vegans or anything like that, is people stop hijacking other people's opinions and beliefs to get your narrative across.
Yeah, just put your narrative across.
I have personally nothing against anyone who wants to be an anti. If you want to be an Antifa and that's what you believe in, fine.
None of my business.
If we come face to face and you're wearing a balaclava and you're screaming at me, I'm going to headbutt you. Simple. That's because it's my right to defend myself. It doesn't mean I dislike you as a person, but you're making that choice to put yourself into that environment. Okay. Yep. Vegans. I have vegan friends. I respect what they do.
I'm mostly vegan. I'm 99% vegan. Cal.
Exactly. I eat up and down. I eat vegetarian, I eat vegan, I eat meat because I have a balanced diet. You know, I like to cook. I've been a chef.
Yeah, you have.
I have nothing against these people, and I know I never ever in my wildest dreams go onto any of my friends' Facebooks or vegan pages and slander them.
Have you come across the vegan police?
Yes, with my ex, and we had the farm there. We did have a few issues, and it turned out that the girl that was berating us, her father actually messaged my ex-partner and was like, I don't know what she's going on about because she eats meat all the time.
There you go.
But it's, your opinion, again, this is what we want this podcast to be about, guys. And the fact is you shouldn't be scared to express your opinion. Okay.
You shouldn't.
That doesn't give you the right, though, to be an arsehole. Let's get this, people do have feelings, and you have to. Yeah,
but then don't be so. You can be aware, but
don't be upset of offending people.
No,
don't actively go out there to offend.
No.
If you want to have a debate and get your opinion across, that is fine. If someone gets offended by it and then starts berating you, just ignore them, move on, block them or whatever, but you are allowed to have your opinion. Like I said, I will not go on to, I see it all the time, and the idiot in me, sometimes I want to take the piss and have a bit of a laugh, but at the end of the day, if someone wants to be a vegan, then they can be a vegan. I have no issues with it, but for God's sake, the guy you're trying to shut down, he's got a family. He's got kids to look after. He's got bills to pay at the end of the day. There's a bigger picture to everything in life.
Much bigger picture. It's
the same with all of this virus thing. When it comes down to it, there's a bigger picture. And I fully understand why people are still going out there working, because they're trying to feed their kids. I saw a post about a guy, and he was on Facebook, I'm going to call the police. There's 3-4 builders working on someone's house. This is disgusting. Da, 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 da. And I was just like, do you know what, mate? I was like, if you call the police and these people get arrested and fined, or the jobs get closed down, and that poor guy's family can't eat because of you, you know, because you're a nosy twat,
Exactly.
and you're judging people without knowing their situation.
Exactly.
Be it on your head. Karma will come for you, mate.
Karma will come for you. And,
you know.
and that's great what you said, because, you know, whether you believe in God, and we've established I do and you don't, there's nothing wrong with that. But what we both agree with is that karma will come for you. You know, karma is real. Yeah,
100%, mate. 100%. It's not always comes when you want it. You know?
No, of course not. And why would it? It's not going to come in it's going to come at an hour that you're not familiar with.
But good and bad.
That's how karma visits you.
Good and bad things happen to us in life. It is life, and it's always been like that, and it's never going to change, unfortunately. But I think you're right. I think we need to wrap up, because obviously you've got to shoot on. Yeah,
then in terms of, you know, like, this is our first episode, and, you know, I think it's nice because, like I said, you and I have worked together for many, many years. We've got a great relationship. We don't always agree, but I respect you, and you know that. And I don't want you to always agree with me. And I like that we can talk and just challenge each other. And, you know, something which people won't know about you, you're always able to, you're like a chameleon. And I mean that in a good sense of the word. You can adapt to any situation. Yeah. You're very talented. You've got so much talent. But, you know, ultimately, it doesn't matter to me whether you believe in God or not. I will never judge you, because I know you have such a good heart, my bro. You've got a good heart, and you've always maintained a very good heart. And to me, you know, listen, there's people that will sit next to you in church and tell you they're a Christian. And if you was on fire, they wouldn't spit on you. You understand? So don't judge people by what they say they are. Judge people by what's in their hearts and their actions and how they treat you. And to me, that transcends any race, religion, gender. It doesn't matter what it is. I always value people on how they treat me. And you've always stood up, you know? So, yeah, it's nice to do this with you, man. Yeah, first of many.
You too. Like I said, guys, you know, we'll be looking to bring you a new episode once a week. You know, if possible more. We'll see how it goes. You know, if you like it, please like the video, give us a share. You'll be able to find this on YouTube for the time being until we've got a few more episodes, and we'll look at other platforms. There are other platforms available. We'll have a Facebook.
Tell us what you think of the title as well.
Yeah, because, obviously, any feedback, please. Like us on the Facebook page. Anything you want us to talk about. Again, please, you know, you can open up a debate on the Facebook page. You can message the page direct. You know, any subjects, anything you've heard in the news, maybe you want us to speak about, we'll have a look into it. And again, every week we'll try and bring you a bit of an eye opener, true facts. You know, this is not just for me and Adrian, but this is for you guys as well. So make sure you interact with us, please. And,
absolutely, man.
Stay home, stay safe.
Stay home, don't go outside.
Oh yeah, don't ever go outside. Ever,
I'm about to go outside now to get my children, but don't go outside.
Don't go out ever again. And make sure you spend all your hard-earned money on the people making the masks, telling you have to wear them.
Yeah, okay? I've just ordered mine.
I've got a British Army gas mask. It's fine. So anyway, guys, so I said stay safe, and we'll be back next week. And hopefully you enjoyed this. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you.
Definitely, man. And remember, the name of the podcast is
Jesus Wasn't White,
and he wasn't, was he? So there you go.
Right, see you later, guys. See you later, mate.
Peace. Take care. Bye.